The OFJCC has always been a really great middle point where I've met a lot of my Jewish friends. It's incredible to not only be able to experience our Judaism in a safe setting, but to be able to do it in our Jewish community.
It takes a village to raise the children. The JCC is one of the institutions that is inculcating values that I very strongly believe in.
I've always felt that the Jewish community has opened so many doors for me that I wouldn't have been able to experience otherwise.
It's a trip that you will never forget.
Shalhevet is a trip for Jewish high schoolers that visits historic sites in Poland having to do with the Holocaust. We go through the concentration camps. After a week in Poland, we go to Israel. We visit Yad Vashem and learn about the righteous among the nations, learn about the revival of Jewish life after the war. It's led by a Holocaust survivor. We were really lucky to be able to have Anne-Marie and to have her tell her story.
It took us the same day to the conference. I was born in Chemnitz, Germany. Everything was beautiful until November the 9th, 1938, the infamous Kristallnacht. The noise and the screaming and the marching was horrendous. All of a sudden, about 4 in the morning, we heard this tremendous knock at the front door, and there were 2 German SS officers. They barged in, went to where my father was in bed, dragged him down the 3 flights of stairs, and the next morning he was taken to the concentration camp in East Germany called Buchenwald. We were issued the Star of David, which is my original star that I wore. I was hidden in a Catholic girls' school convent. And I kind of forgot what was going on in the outside world.
Both sets of my grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and the lessons that they learned from their lives and from their experiences were something that they passed on to my parents and that they in turn passed on to me.
My mother was raised in a fairly religious Jewish family. She spent the war years in something like 7 concentration camps, including Auschwitz, ended up in Ravensbrück, and that's where she was liberated. Ilana heard many, many stories from that time. Therefore, when she came to us asking about Shalhevet, I said, of course, if you're interested, absolutely, please go.
When we were in Auschwitz, there was the book of names of the people who had perished during the war, and I remember looking through the book and finding my grandparents' names, and that was surreal. There's no way to really prepare you for what it's like to be in Auschwitz, to see the names of your grandparents and your family and the long list of names that just go on and on and on.
It's important for them to learn the history and that we must never forget the Holocaust. And the trip gives them the reality of what really happened.
There was a really big moment when we were at the Majdanek concentration camp. We walked into the barracks, and to know that in 48 hours the camp could be up and running as it was during the war was something that was very raw and a little scary at the same time. This could be up, this could be running, and we could be where we were during the war.
I feel it's important to show, even to myself, that Nazi Germany did not kill all of us. We survived.
For me, that combination of a week in Poland followed by a week in Israel symbolized the hope of the Jewish people. And the trip is really hard and it's really meaningful, but I left with a sense of hope and a sense of the strength and the resilience of the Jewish people.
Shalhevet is also a Hebrew word that connotes flame. And in this context, I feel it's connoting the eternal flame. It's the notion that we need in every generation to remember what happened and fight as heck to make sure that they don't reoccur. It's a matter of continuing the work because the work is never done.
My grandmother always said that if Jews don't help other Jews, who will? And that was something that stuck with me. As a Jewish community, we have been through so much, and our history will always be with us, and it's our responsibility as the generations to come, of the future of the Jewish people, to give back, to be involved in the Jewish community, and to keep our history and our stories alive.
Amen.
Amen.